In a minute, I won't tolerate that on my show, Matt.
I'm going to be cancelled.
In a minute, no, you won't be cancelled. But if you carry on like that, this will not work.
This is Matthew Stadlen, journalist, author, presenter and photographer. He was a weekend presenter on LBC for 4 years. Spiked Online call him a kind of pound shop James O'Brien, a midwit public schoolboy and dispenser of high-status opinions. But to me, he's your actual Labour-loving loony lefty who went after anyone opposing lockdowns to an almost obsessive degree. And, as you can imagine, Stadler is a huge advocate of climate change and immigration.
What is your solution then? Because I don't want these RF bases to be used. I think it is wrong. They need to find better solutions.
Where do you think they should be put?
Well, I'm asking you that. I'm asking you that because you're the one who's supposed to do ideas of RF base.
So I was delighted when Nana Acquaye of GB News handed him his own anus on a platter during a conversation about immigration.
I can't see a particular problem with it. I think this is a provocative article and a provocative argument trying to say that refugees are somehow threatening our heritage. They're not. We have lots of job vacancies in this country. We have a lot of job vacancies in this country. These people should be allowed to work.
Sorry, what it is saying is that this is a historical base, and for it to be used as a migrant camp is unacceptable.
But where do you want them to go, these people, once they're here? Where would you put them?
I'm not saying that.
I'm asking you where you want them to go.
I would turn the boats back, actually.
You turn them back, would you?
Absolutely.
At the risk of people drowning?
No. No, we're not talking about...
So what would you do? Explain it. Spell it out to the audience, to the GB News viewers. Many of whom will have compassion. What do you do to these people? Are you prepared to drown these people?
So
would you sink the boats?
So let me get this straight. So from me saying that you'd turn the boats back, you've managed to turn it into some sort of emotional argument about
death.
Let me finish. That I'm now going to kill people and drown. That's ridiculous.
So what would you do?
That's
what happens?
Ridiculous. I've
so
just
what
explained.
Happens? Explain it to me. When you turn them back, what happens if they drown once you turn them back?
They're not going to drown.
Why not?
Or you could put them on board your own boat. Can I finish, please? If you're asking me a question, I expect you to respect the fact that I need to answer it.
I feel the same. Yes. So if you ask me questions, you don't let me. Well, exactly. So you should be the host, and you should have the good grace to allow me to answer your questions.
Let me finish. Don't tell me how to run my own show. I've brought you on my show to ask you the questions. But seeing as you've asked me one, I would like to answer.
And what's the answer?
In a minute, I won't tolerate that on my show, Matt.
I'm going to be cancelled.
In a minute, no, you won't be cancelled. But if you carry on like that, this will not work. It's a debate, and you allow the other person to finish speaking.
And you interrupt me the whole time. But go on,
my show.
Give me your answer.
It is my job to host the show.
Yes, it is your job to allow me to answer the questions that you ask me as well.
If I want to interrupt you to bring in another guest or to ask you a question, I will do that.
Well, it's rude, but go on.
It's not rude.
It is.
You're being rude because I've invited you on my show to have a decent discussion.
If you invite someone on your show, then you've got to allow them to answer your questions.
Well, you've asked me a question.
Yes, and what's the answer?
Well, why don't you let me answer it?
I'm waiting to hear the answer.
You're going to interrupt?
Go on.
OK, so as I explained very clearly, we would turn the boats back. That's how I would do it. Try not to interject in the middle. Yeah? And that would either be done by them going on board the boat and you take them back to France safely. You take people safely back.
So you're not turning back the boats. You're taking them onto your boats.
It is a turn of phrase.
And then the boats that are run by the British Navy would then take them back to France.
They should work together with the French.
That's not about turning back the boats, then, isn't it? That's emotive language.
No,
it's dangerous.
It's not
emotive language. It makes people think that you're prepared for people to die at sea.
No, that's your interpretation of it.
It is, yes. Because that's the language that you use.
Because you're being sinister about the language. So it's quite simple. The boats, we turn the boats back in a safe form, where people are safe.
Nana Acquaye there, showing us how easy it is to lose your rag with these brain-dead morons. And if you think I'm being unreasonable, well, think again, because only a few days ago, 50 migrants were intercepted by a French warship. The migrants, however, refused to be picked up by the French and asked for the UK instead. And of course, we went and collected them.
We asked to the dinghy if they need assistance. They say to me no. They want UK assistance.
Waiting for UK assistance. We are in present now happy to effect our rescue.
We are in a position to come and rescue them. Basically, the French they say no, we do not want you, we want the British to rescue us. I mean, what's going on?
So, in response to these migrants refusing to be safely rescued by the French, Isabel Oakeshott tweeted this: "Whoever made the disgraceful decision to pick up illegal migrants from French waters after those migrants refused to be rescued by the French, should be sacked today. This was Stadlen's response. Are you seriously suggesting that we should have let them drown? What a truly disgusting, far-right thing to tweet. Now at this point, you really couldn't be blamed for thinking that Matthew Stadlen is a bit of an idiot. But here's the thing, he really isn't. And that's the scary thing about it.
I've lived in London all my life.
But oh my friends, that was just the hors d'oeuvres. In another GB News clip, Stadlen actually gets more triggered by a drug dealer's emissions than the drugs he's selling.
Drug dealing is absolutely rife. I'm starting to sound like an old fogey myself. But I don't want that around my son when he's growing up.
What, they're dealing drugs in the street?
They deal
in the middle of
drugs.
the
They do it in the back of their mopeds instead of delivering food. Sometimes they're literally delivering drugs. You can order it on a menu, that sort of thing.
Right.
Completely unacceptable. Yesterday, I saw someone who I was fairly confident was a drug dealer, and he had his engine running at about 10 o'clock at night. And I thought, if you're dealing drugs, that's one thing. I don't want you to be dealing drugs, but if you're going to keep your engine on and polluting my street for my kids, that is unacceptable.
So not just
So I went
the
round the
drugs and
block. I asked him
antisocial.
to do it twice, which probably wasn't very sensible because he might have had a big knife or something, and he refused to do it. And the arrogance
You asked him to do what?
Turn his engine off.
Okay. What happened?
So this is where we are. But you know what? I think there's a shift taking place and it couldn't happen soon enough. You enjoy the rest of your day. Bye now.